Hi, I'm Scott Bradford from the Rio Grande Jewelry Tech Team, and today we're going to be talking about Dedeco polishers. So let's get started. When you're polishing at the bench, you need wheels that are going to reach the areas you need to reach and leave a great finish. Dedeco offers a variety of polishers in different shapes and sizes to suit your needs. Now let's take a look at the line of Dedeco polishers. First, let's talk about the type of abrasive inside the polishers and the silicone they're embedded in. Some of the polishers are embedded with a silicon carbide abrasive. Silicon carbide is a hard abrasive that will cut away material fast, and it's embedded in a high-grade silicone. The ones I'm showing you here are the Dedeco inside ring polishers, and they have a bit more flexibility when you're grinding and polishing, which comes in handy when you need a polisher to conform to the surface. These Dedeco sunburst points, on the other hand, have an aluminum oxide abrasive built into them. Slightly softer abrasive for more gentle cutting and is embedded in a stiffer silicone so it doesn't flex as much when you're trying to apply a bit more pressure. Whether you choose one or the other will depend on your personal preference and the type of jewelry piece you're polishing. Now that we've looked at the type of abrasive inside the Dedeco polishers, let's take a look at what grits are available. Because grit ratings can vary depending on the type of abrasive used, the shape of the abrasive material, and a whole bunch of other factors, picking the right grit can be tricky. So let's see if we can break it down. The silicon carbide polishers come in 4 different grits: coarse, medium, fine, and extra fine. The aluminum oxide polishers come in grits like 36, 50, 80, 120, 220, 400, 600, 6 micron, and 1 micron. Now I can already hear you saying, whoa, you just threw out words like coarse and medium, you threw out grit numbers and microns. What's the difference? Comparing silicon carbide abrasive and aluminum oxide abrasive is not exactly apples to apples. Because of the shape of the abrasive material, the size of the grains can be identical in a silicon carbide polisher and an aluminum oxide polisher, but one is more abrasive than the other. Here's a quick way to know where they fall. Aluminum oxide, 36 to 50 grit, is equal to silicon carbide 90 grit, or coarse. Aluminum oxide 80 to 120 grit equals a silicon carbide 220 grit, or medium. Aluminum oxide 220 to 400 grit is equal to silicon carbide 400 grit, or fine. Aluminum oxide 6 to 1 micron is equal to silicon carbide 1000 grit, or ultrafine. So you see how that can get a bit confusing? Since aluminum oxide is the dominant abrasive material in the jewelry industry, it's easier to assign grit ratings to aluminum oxide polishers and give silicon carbide polishers words like coarse or fine. Lastly, let's talk about the shapes of the polishers. The shape that you need will depend on the area of the jewelry piece that you need to reach. So it's good to have an assortment of different sizes and shapes so you can reach those areas easily and efficiently. These flat edge wheels or these inside ring polishers are great for the inside and outside of ring shanks or flatter surfaces. The flat edge wheels work best for the outside of pieces where you have those flat surfaces, and the inside polishers are a perfect size for polishing the inside of a ring shank. The flat edge wheels are mounted onto a standard screw mandrel. The inside ring polishers are mounted on what's called a point mandrel. As you screw the polisher onto the mandrel, the threading on the point mandrel will cut into the silicone, giving you a secure fit. These can be screwed on or off as needed. Now for areas with higher detail, you have a few options. First, let's look at polishing points. These come in a variety of shapes depending on the area you need to reach, and they come in both silicon carbide variety and aluminum oxide variety. As we discussed earlier, the silicone used in the silicon carbide polishing points are a little bit more flexible than the aluminum oxide ones, and will conform to the surface a little better. So take that into consideration when picking your polisher. You also have wheels with a knife edge that are really good in cleaning up corners, especially corners around a solder joint. As you use them, the edge of the point will start to dull a little bit, but you can touch them up with a sharpening stone or anything abrasive really to get that fine tip or knife edge back where you need it. For getting into those really tight spaces, Dedeco offers a line of polishing pins. These are mounted in a collet so the length can be adjusted and can be shaped to the taper you need. Simply slide the pin into the collet, tighten down, shape how you need, and start polishing. These come with aluminum oxide abrasive embedded in the silicone, but Dedeco offers polishing pins embedded with diamond as well. This allows you to remove scratches on stones, as well as metal. Pretty handy for a quick cleanup on a stone if you scratch it during setting. So now we've talked about wheels for flatter surfaces and some for higher detail. Now let's look at some wheels that can do both. These are radial bristle discs. The bristles are flexible so they can form to your piece. You can have only one on the mandrel for tighter areas, like a knife edge polisher, or stack them on your mandrel for those flatter surfaces. They come in sizes around 1 inch for your flex shaft, dual bristle discs so you don't have to stack them, snap-on disc for quick changing, or 2 to 3 inch sizes for a tabletop polishing motor. They're embedded with aluminum oxide abrasive and are color-coded for easy identification. Just make sure to mount them the right way on your screw mandrel so they lay against the surface as it's turning, and use light pressure. There's really no one way to use these polishers, so the decision on what to use and when will be a bit of a judgment call. But the polisher that can reach the area you need to reach and leave a great finish is the right polisher for you. Regardless of the polishing job at hand, Dedeco offers a variety of styles, shapes, and grits to make the polishing go quick and easy without sacrificing quality. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or contact us.